In today's modern parenting, we're discussing a challenging but important topic: how to talk to your kids about grief.
Yeah, the conversation is back in the spotlight after a recent exchange between actor Andrew Garfield and Sesame Street's Elmo went viral.
I'm just thinking about my mom today. You know, she passed away not too long ago. And, you know, I just miss her a lot.
Oh, I'm almost really sorry to hear that, Mr. Andrew.
Oh, no, it's okay. You don't have to say sorry. It's actually kind of okay to miss somebody.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Elmo always feels really sad when he misses somebody.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. But, you know, that sadness, it's kind of a gift. It's kind of a lovely thing to feel, in a way, because it means you really loved somebody when you miss them.
Oof, I cried the first time I saw it, and I'm tearing up again. Joining us to talk about all of this is family psychologist Dr. Jennifer Hartstein. It moves you because it's also real, right? And talk about the conversation, and especially what were they communicating that's hitting us so hard here?
Well, I think the rawness in Andrew Garfield's presentation and the realness in that hits us all. And I think there's something beautiful in this interaction. I get that it's Elmo, but there's a connection, right? They're really, he's in it, he's present for Andrew Garfield in a way that we want people to be present for us in those moments of loss and grief. And that you can feel that through that clip, which is really beautiful.
No, it's so powerful. And with kids, it may manifest differently than parents expect. What should they be looking for when it comes to grief?
It's a really important question because I think we think of grief as this linear thing, and it is a process, and it comes at us in all different ways. And for kids, you might see they're playing and seem fine, and then all of a sudden they're not okay, and you kind of are like, what just happened? Or they're regressing in their behaviors, or maybe they're more anxious because they're afraid something might happen to you as their parent, so they're going to stay connected to you in more ways than you might have expected.
And what about when adults, I mean, I've been through this, where adults are grieving and you have kids and you're tempted to sort of hide in the shower and cry. You're nodding your head. No, don't do that, right? Do you need to share your grief with them to some extent?
Well, your kids are perceptive, and they are much more resilient than we give them credit for. So they know something's happening. So we want to be honest, we want to be direct, we want to have that conversation. And by sharing your emotion, you don't want to give them your emotion, right? That's too much for them.
Yeah.
But sharing your emotion models for them that it's okay to have emotion. Yeah. And you want to be able to have open conversation about it. But you want to have that time in the shower for yourself if you need it.
Yeah.
And you want to know kind of when to tap out, when it feels like too much for you, that you need to ask for help and someone else can come in and be part of the caring for your children at that time.
I think that's what struck me most about what Andrew Garfield said and did was he just named, actually, I'm kind of sad today. And it's okay for kids to see that we too have that range of emotion.
Absolutely, it's so important because where are they learning how to express it, how to experience it, that it's okay. If we normalize the emotion, it's no big deal when they have it.
Are there signs when you need, I mean, you just said more help with parenting, but what if your child is really struggling? Like, what if the child lost a parent, God forbid? When do you need to get outside help for that child?
I think that it's really important to think about the fact that because this is a process, we're going to come and go in how the emotion hits. But if your child is having a harder time kind of getting back into those routines that they need, or getting back to school, or maybe they're not sleeping, or they're having kind of more childlike behaviors than is age appropriate, go get some advice. Go talk to a therapist. Go meet with your pediatrician. It can't hurt to have a space that's outside of yours, they don't have to be worried that they're going to impact your feelings. That's a really safe, open space for them to go talk. So it's a great thing, and there's a lot of grief groups and grief opportunities and support spaces for kids that's available.
And it's probably important to remember that grief can be around a lot of different things. It doesn't necessarily have to just be a person, right? I imagine the death of a dog, like there's a range.
Right, and the first kind of loss that most kids experience is actually the loss of a pet, right? So it can be a goldfish, right? And it can be a loss of a friendship. I mean, we grieve over lots of different things. Any big loss can trigger a grief process for us, and we have to think about that. You move, there's a grief process for your kids potentially. So any sort of major loss can trigger that process for your kids.
Dr. Jen Hartstein, it's always so good to have you to give us some perspective and understanding. And to Elmo, thank you for raising the subject, right?
Truly.